Sackboy grabbed a piece of sponge. This is what happened to his bones. Chubbyemu reference aside, this is an interesting glitch that I want to show you guys in Little Big Planet. MAD Youngling showed it to me, and it doesn't really have any use to it, but, basically, it allows you, it's been a glitch since Little Big Planet 1, right? And it allows you to basically create an object that, when Sackboy touches it, he gets flung across the level in whatever direction he touched it from. So you see there that I got flown really, really airborne there. But the interesting thing is when you grab it, his arms don't come with him. They actually get stuck on the object because he's grabbing it. And something about the way the game works causes, well, this to happen. Where his arms kind of become spaghettified. And that's where the Chubbyemu joke comes from, because, like, his bones get really stretched out, or, like, they break and they, you know, disintegrate, and then his arms become spaghetti. And it's quite funny, and I'm gonna show you guys how to build one of these. So the way it works is you... just a minute here while I check that my stream deck actually started recording. Okay. I'm gonna delete this. Right? So the way it works is light matter in the game has kind of an interesting physical property in that it kind of has, I don't know if it's infinite mass or no mass, but the interesting thing is it doesn't move. It doesn't have any, doesn't get influenced by physics at all in the game. It has collisions, but it otherwise doesn't move. It's sort of like static physics in Little Big Planet 3, but, you know, Little Big Planet 1. So I'm going to leave it dynamic. And I'm just going to place a one-layer thin piece, like this, right? Nice and big. Doesn't have to be this big, but I'm just going to try it this big for the sake of the video. And next we need something grabbable. So basic sponge will work fine, and it needs to be dynamic physics. Because remember, this is a Little Big Planet 1 glitch, and static physics didn't exist. And it needs to be at least one layer thick so that Sackboy can grab it. Next, we're gonna need 2 sprung bolts. And this is where the interesting property is, because sprung bolts have 2 tweaks on them. They have an angle, and they have a strength. The strength determines how strong the sprung bolt is at maintaining its angle. And sprung bolts kind of work a lot like gyroscopes from Little Big Planet 2 do, except that the sprung bolt is a little bit less instantaneous about how it does it. It can spring back and forth and, you know, do all sorts of weird stuff. Because it's a spring bolt. It's springy. And the way it works is you set an angle that you want it to, you know, maintain, and the little arrow will point in the direction that it's going to try to rotate the object to maintain the angle. So by default it's 0, and we're going to set the strength to 100%, and we're going to place it in the corner of the object here. So right about here. Then we need another one, and you have to set the angle to be the exact opposite of the other sprung bolt. So in this case, since we had a 0-degree sprung bolt earlier, we're going to go 180. Basically, you want the arrow to point in the other direction, and then it will maintain... this sprung bolt will try to maintain 180 degrees. You'll know it worked when you go ahead and attach the object to the light matter, and you hear whining noise. But since we didn't hear whining noise, we've actually found a bug in Little Big Planet 3's create mode, or maybe LBP 1's, I don't know, but the sprung bolt did not retain its angle here, so we need to set it again. But as you can see, you can sort of hear what this is going to sound like. You notice that it started you know, whining there as we got to like 100 degrees. That's because these sprung bolts are fighting against each other right now. Now it sounds really weird. But they are now pointing in opposite directions. Now, it seems that the sound is different based on the sizes of the object. So this sounds a lot weirder than what it did in the earlier part of the video. But, yeah, basically what's happening is this sprung bolt in the top left is trying to maintain 0 degrees. And this sprung bolt in the bottom right is trying to maintain 180 degrees. And they're just kind of fighting each other over and over again. So the game is like really stressing this object out. And the interesting thing is it doesn't look like it's moving the object. It doesn't look like it's spinning or moving or anything like that, but it is. Because if we hit it, we get flung into the air. Something about how the game's physics work. And we've created a Little Big Planet bounce castle. Now, of course, that's not where the fun ends. Because, well, here comes the next Chubbyemu reference. No, I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna do the whole thing where I play the music and go, SB is a 14-year-old plushie presenting to the emergency room, spaghettified, but I'm not gonna do it. But this is what happens. The game... Okay, it seems like with this big of an object, it freaks out too much for Sackboy to stay on screen, and he just kind of dies, but, maybe if we shrink it down a little, you can see it sounds different. No, he is still having trouble getting his arms to do the thing. It does depend on the weight of the object, and the more we shrink it down, you can see it sounds a lot more like it did in the start of the video. But weirdly, it's still deleting me. Wait, no. I think I got it this time. But yeah, you can see that my arms are really stretched out. It kind of looks like cheese. Alright, well, that is how you create this weird, spaghettification glitch in Little Big Planet. There we go, that's what I wanted it to look like. That is, you get bounced in the air, and then, you know, you eventually do get sucked in, and then you die. But, that's the glitch in a nutshell. Thank you to M88 Youngling for showing it to me. I don't know what use this serves, other than, I don't know, just being funny, but with that said, I've been Michael. As always, hope you learned something, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.